to the area where my fingers, like, it's two different areas of the brains acting together, right? Like the yap guy and the playing games guy. I'm getting to the point, especially whenever we come into like the middle of the stream like this, and the flow of consciousness is going at levels that have never been seen before. Um, Starting to like separate the not even the art from the artist, more like the I don't know, the gears from the machine or something. Like, you don't need to know how a clock works to know that it tells the time. You know what I'm talking about? And you don't need to know how all the gears and the little purple amethyst, like, blunt force trauma collecting stones, the vibranium, you know, metal that is, like, you know, preventing it from, if you didn't have those like 10 or 11 purple amethysts in there, the whole thing would come to a halt. You don't need to know how the thing on your wrist or your pocket works to understand that it's doing the thing that it needs to do. It's kind of like magic in a way. So it's starting to become like two separate entities, especially whenever it's with something repeatable like this, right? Like, I'm just doing the same actions over and over again. You could almost automate it with a robot or something. Voila, yeah. Like, I don't know how far we are away from that. I know I keep like skirting around the topic of what I can actually do in terms of party tricks, but I keep finding new threads to pull on. So I'm sure we'll come back to the yarn that's been proposed by a lovely friend at some point in our lives. I wonder how far we are away from, like, just somebody, like, for some reason, like, they can't just be like a just chatting Twitch streamer or something. They gotta have like a robot playing games, kind of like the Subway Surfer guy, but for themselves. You know what I'm talking about? Like, as the streamer, you put on your screen a robot playing a game, and you're watching the robot play the game while you yap. I feel like we're pretty much there, right? Like, there have to be, like, I know there's people who like play videos of other people playing and, like, you know, hire other people to play games while they talk over them or something like that. Like, I know ghosts, not writers, but I guess gamers exist. But I'm talking about just like fully, you know, ChatGPT, can you play Doom for me on my fridge while I like cook? And talk about cooking, but I don't actually, like, you know, the only thing that you see on the screen is the Doom footage or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm extinguishing the bit with like several different extinguishers. No, wait, no, that's not enough like word variety to make it funny, man. You just say the same words over and over again. Where am I? I'm in a fever dream, man. So yeah, back to cool tricks that I can do. I don't got any magic stuff, like no. Oh, you know what? I love the thing that always like blows people away in 5th grade was. You ever do the thing with your arm against the wall? And like you push your arm against the wall, like you stand like quite straight, like usually you use like a door stop or something, but a wall works just fine. It's usually a door stop because then you have less like impediment on your arm movement whenever you move away from it inevitably. Where you push your arm like parallel to your body against like a surface, and you keep doing that, and you do that for like a minute or so, and you push like, you know, trying pretty much. It's as if you said, go stand next to this wall with the arms at either side and try to T-pose as hard as you can. And like, obviously you're like, if you have your right side to the wall, your right arm is like your right, I guess, like backhand is pushing against the wall. And you know, you feel a little bit uncomfortable. You feel a little bit of pain because you're working that muscle that, you know, you're trying to extend it, but it won't. And then you move away from the wall after that minute and try to put your arm down, and your arm keeps moving up on its own, man. Oh, it's like a trick to the senses. Like I said, humans are kind of solved. We can be tricked into doing all kinds of fucked up shit. So yeah, I would say if you give that a try, that could be that's my party trick, is getting other people to do weird shit with their bodies, I guess. Or the other thing that would kill in this like 3rd grade playground would be like put your like clasp your hands together as if you're praying for the Lord above at night in in your like one piece 90 that like has like buttons where your ass is so that in the middle of the night you can shit or something. I don't know, like people were built different back in the day, I guess. And that's freaky. Yeah, dude, you should give it a try sometime. And you like so yeah, you put you clasp your hands together, but then you lift up both of your index fingers, and you tell the person, all right, keep them. Oh no, first you tell them to crisscross their index fingers. So like they keep like while your hands are clasped, you like raise both index fingers at the same time, and then lay them next to each other on one side, and then raise them up again, and then lay on the other side of each other. And you do that for like about 30 seconds or something. I'm pretty sure it's the same like mechanism of the hand wall thing. So I guess maybe I have a little bit of a niche going on for myself. So you do that for like 30 seconds or a minute, and then the person that is telling you to do this dumb shit tells you, okay, now put both of your index fingers up in an upright position and try to keep them apart. And then they'll unravel this invisible string, and they'll try to tie both of your index fingers together, and slowly they clasp together. Yeah, man, that shit killed in 3rd grade, man. That shit was crazy. People thought I was on something. And people, yeah, that's the kind of shit that I did back in the day. I guess you can call those party tricks. I bet, and you know what? Because alcohol works in mysterious ways, I bet I could pull that shit off in like a room of drunk people to this day, man. Because being drunk is kind of like being in 5th grade playground or something like that. You're just with like a little bit more throw up and sexual harassment. But I bet that shit would still go hard, man. You could still go crazy with those party tricks, and I think that's kind of where my niche ends. It's just like making your body do motor function things that seem weird and magical, but at the end of the day, it's just like your muscles working in the ways that they're somewhat intended to work in, or something. I don't know. People are crazy these days. I'm a fucked up individual, Your Honor. I make people think that I have power over their bodies when really it's just like me playing a trick on their muscles beforehand so that they move without thinking that they can or something. I don't know, man. I can touch the tip and inside of my nose with my... Oh, the inside of your nose is a big one. I can do it if I like, I need like a third party to assist, such as a finger or something, to like push the tip of my nose down. But putting your tongue inside your nose, first of all, jealous. Second of all, ew, for the sake of society. But internally, I'm like, that's pretty cool. That would solve a lot of my issues. Oh man. Kind of like doing a Charles Manson and losing like one of your ribs or something. That's why the ladies love me. Dude, because you can lick the inside of your nose? That's crazy. Guy, 40-year virgin. POV, you don't know anything about like sexual stuff. Makes gaming easier. Dude, so true. You don't have to like waste precious seconds when you're clutching up in D-Dust 2. Oh, sorry, D_Dust 2. Whenever you're clutching up, you don't need to like, lift your finger from the mouse or from the W key. You can straight up fucking clear your nose with the, it's always at the tip of your tongue. That's a crazy skill to have. Dude, that's some shit that will probably get you banned from the Olympics for like being cheating or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? Instead of you being a person with too much testosterone and people shaming you for like what you may look like, people judge you because Your Honor, his genetics of his tongue are too long to be able to be in the same arena as us. Like there's a clear disadvantage here to us short tongue havers. We can't like clear our nose while we're in mid clutch. Like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Meanwhile, like, the whole reason the Olympics exist is to, like, highlight the genetic differences between people. Like, you think anybody can fucking become, like, a fucking Michael Phelps motherfucker? Like, the whole point is, like, to be a hairless goddamn, like, you know, sea monkey or something. And like, to be a one of a kind, like a one in a generation or something. Fucking, like, I love people getting mad these days at the Olympics for things that the Olympics is supposed to be highlighting, man. Sorry, get a little passionate perhaps about the Olympics. Also, can I say, Prime, that Olympics isn't just like a free view sport these days? Like, the whole point was that, like, you know, all countries get together, but now it's just as everything before is like a profit incentive thing. You can't just like go into the Olympics. I guess it's different for the artists and the athletes that are going in. Like, they have their own, like, you know, way to gain, like, you know, pride and stuff like that. I'm talking about more about the corporations that set the whole thing up and sponsors and having, like, you know, Coca-Cola banners on the side of the tennis pitch or something like that. Oh, I'm putting the whole world on fire, man. We're going sicko mode. Oh. Man, I wonder sometimes if going on these long rants that take the oxygen, like, out of my system to, like, as much as possible, if it ever, like, in the long run, it's making me dumber and dumber by, like, you know, depriving my brain of oxygen for, like, you know, 0.05 seconds at a time. I wonder if that shit is, like, you know, multiplicative or something. Oh, man. It makes you think. Oh, no. Man. Oh, you guys been going out much these days? Going out to clubs and nah, we've sucked that one off before. I can't keep climbing on that low-hanging fruit. Fucking sticky floor ass motherfuckers. Look, can I say? I don't know if I've sucked this one up before, so maybe hits a little close to my home. Traveling, man. Maybe I'm too gamer pilled or something, and I don't think that's the case. I think it's more like of a personal thing / like, you know, my own internal thoughts and problems. I keep saying, and I've gone on this rant many fucking times before, okay? Like, whenever I say I don't understand, it pretty much means that, like, I don't feel it, but I probably get why other people get enjoyment out of things that I don't enjoy, okay? Like, I'm not saying that, like, it's fucking incomprehensible to me that someone, like, wants to go to the fucking Netherlands or something, okay? If they live in, I don't know, fucking Ohio. I'm talking more about, like, about travel. I don't have the travel bug in me. Like, there's only one thing out there, and I'm pretty sure I've sucked this one off. There's only, like, one thing out there in the world that I want to see, and that's it. Like, I don't know. Maybe this part I didn't get into too much last time I spoke of this. Whenever, and I had this realization whenever I was playing, like, Witcher 3 back in 2015, okay? So, like, you know, this is very, like, huge brain, you know, gamer moment type situation here. Or maybe it's like a little too enlightened for the common man to even come close to comprehending. I don't get, like, a whole lot of pleasure. Maybe there's something fucked up within. I don't get a whole lot of pleasure from looking at scenery, I guess. From, like, you know, oh, I want to go to Greece to be able to go to, like, Zakynthos or some shit like that, right? Like, to go to, like, one of the islands and see the beauty, or go to Hawaii or something like that. Like, it's cool, you get to experience another culture. There's definitely, like, value in, like, you know, getting out of your home country and going out and experiencing stuff. But I guess it's like, you know, my early life was so volatile in terms of, like, me constantly going from place to place. I kind of just enjoy being at home, man. I don't have the bug in me that tells me, you know, you haven't gotten a stamp on your passport this year. If anything, I don't want any stamps on my passport. I just want to, like, kind of get in and get out unnoticed. Maybe that's a little illegal, but, you know, it's the way of life in many ways. You know, know, like if I want to go somewhere, I usually have like a purpose, right? And I guess like many people do, and their purpose is to experience other things. But I don't know. Yeah. So whenever I was playing Witcher 3, and I was it was whenever the DLC came out, Blood and Wine, and you know, in Tucson, and I was like, man, this place is beautiful. And that's whenever I realized, like, I don't have a lot of like passion for, you know, going to the New Zealand hills where fucking the filming for Lord of the Rings took place, and see that scenery, because I can just like experience beautiful shit in games. And again, I know it's a very like, you know, closeted like individual in the sense that it's like, you know, closed-minded, I guess, closeted in a way, to say, but like it's, I don't know, it's my truth, I guess. I don't derive a lot of pleasure from, you know, getting somewhere, because the whole like the juice isn't worth the squeeze, man. The stress of like getting on a plane or whatever, and traveling for like hours and dealing with all the bullshit that comes to, like, it's too many barriers to entry to go and appreciate nature, I guess, is what I'm thinking. Physical effort, mental effort. Oh, it's so hard to get on a plane. And, oh, I can't, you know, I get so bored or whatever. And I understand, like, there's more to it than that, okay? I don't know, it's, I'm glad that there's so many people out there, and that's why it feels like there's something broken within me whenever I'm like, I don't care much for tourism. I feel like I can experience, like, beautiful shit without having to go through, like, you know, minus 500 to my bank account and, like, minus 300 like time to my free time or whatever. I don't know. Thoughts? What do you mean by that? Oh man, I don't know. It's always something that I've resigned to being like, yeah, I'm just different than other people whenever it comes to that particular thing. It's not something that particularly bothers me. It's just like a point of conversation, I guess. Because it's almost a guaranteed, like, you know, I don't know, I'm not like a controversial person in person. Like whenever I'm speaking to people, I'm not trying to, like, you know, grind their gears or, like, you know, say some fucked up shit just to get a reaction out of them. But I do find it, like, I guess a little bit more enriching whenever you talk to people about things that are maybe a little outlandish to you. And, you know, there's fucking levels of this, okay? I'm not talking about, like, you know, you should go to your local function and tell people how much you enjoy killing ants, okay? Like, that's with your fucking magnifying glass. That's not the type of shit that I'm talking about. I do sort of get it, particularly the cost, but knowing lots of people helps, like, being able to visit. Yeah, exactly. Like, getting an excuse to go somewhere is great. But just, you know, people out there who are like, you know, oh, I want to go to Namibia, or I want to go to, you know, the Philippines or something. Why? Just to see the sights? Okay, you know, fair enough. Like, you don't really need a reason. I was mostly asking for curiosity's sake, but I'm glad for you, I guess, that you get, like, a nice drive from, like, even taking vacations. And this is possibly because, and not possibly, but 100% because I don't have, like, a normal job or whatever. But whenever it comes to taking vacation, I'm like, people just undersell the need to just sleep. You think of a vacation, and like most people are like, yeah, 2 weeks of like stress-ridden, constant moving in a country that you've never been to before, sightseeing like every day on a regimented schedule. Like, nah, man, just like take 2 weeks off of the year from your like high-stress job to just like sleep in every day, man. just catch up on some, like, you know, circadian rhythm bullshit, man. I think that's kind of like all that some people need, is just like being able to rest. It feels like a lot of respect is lost for just, like, you know, some shut eye, man. Being able to just nap in the middle of the day or something like that, I feel like that regenerates the soul like a whole lot. It is nice being experiencing something new. Yeah. I'm 100% like I said, like, I know that I'm the outlier here. I'm not trying to sell this as like gospel or anything. I'm 100% aware that, like, yeah, it's it must be absolutely like invigorating to go to you know, especially a culture that maybe you've admired for a long time. Like for example, like, you know, it'd be cool to go to Japan. It's not something that I'm like, you know, gonna go out of my way to probably do, like, unless there's like a really good reason behind it, other than just like be a tourist. Um, but I absolutely understand that people experiencing something new and getting like a little bit of a fresh air and leaving the, particularly like, I think a lot of people can benefit from just leaving their place of like, you know, the 2 kilometer radius that they've lived in for the last like 30 years of their life. It definitely does good for the soul to like leave your country, like at least like, you know, once every few years, just to go and experience like a new culture and maybe broaden your horizons a little bit more than just like, you know, oh yeah, from 5th Street to like you know, North 11th. That's my whole life. That's what I've always known. I was like, okay, like very, you know, 1500s of you, but you know, we live in a different world these days. You can kind of go like everywhere, like literally the entire world. Like, I'm sure that you could even like get to like, I don't know, I was gonna say Atlantis, Antarctica or something. Like you can literally go anywhere you put your mind to. So yeah, absolutely. Like there's value in like a multitude of ways to travel and tourism and stuff like that. I just don't have the dog in me. But yeah, resting rules, absolutely. People sometimes, you know, I don't know. This is very like, you know, anti-establishment of me, but the fact that people can't, like, I don't know. I think that so long as you work 8 hours a day, especially, particularly, right, okay, I'm not talking about, like, you know, people, front-facing jobs. Like, I'm not saying, you know, someone in retail has the luxury of, like, choosing when to work. But if your work is just, like, you know, data processing or something like that, what's it gotta be from, like, 9 to 5, man? Why can't you just, like, you know, wake up at 6 a.m., do, like, an hour or two of work, like, you know, if you're a morning person to begin with, like, not even to go into like different alternatives for that shit. You know, like, you wake up at where essentially whatever the fuck I am, like, and you know, if you want to keep, like, you know, if you guys want to keep the forward movement going, I guess we can keep with the 8-hour shift bullshit. But it doesn't need to be like a straight 8 hours, right? Like, you could have like a required time of the day. Like, look, like, we understand that, you know, you can work at any time during the day, but at like 11 a.m. is like the perfect time for everybody to meet up and like have this like weekly meeting or whatever. Sure, you can have like a time slots where you have to be present, like, you know, in soul and spirit. But I'm talking about like most of the menial fucking jobs and shit like that, man. Like, like, not only should you like working from home be the default, and then if you want to go to an office, that should be like an odd case or something. Like, I don't know, people function better outside of their home environments. Okay, I'm not saying like, you know, go from one like hierarchy of people, like, you know, like morning people rule the world right now. I'm not saying like, you know, we should like tear down the morning people routine and office people routine and implement the thing that works for me personally. I'm saying that we should have the choice, right? Like, people should have, you know, the choice to go into the office if they want to feel a little bit more productive, or like stay at home if they feel more productive that way. I don't know, this is like very utopian of me and very like, you know, naive, I guess you could say, of like, oh yeah, we all wish the world would look like that, kiddo. But, like, have you seen the shit that we've accomplished? Like, this is like far from like one of the craziest things that we can come up with and actually accomplish. Like, why can't people just, you know, yeah, I'll work like 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there, like 3 hours there, like, unless you need to be in constant, like, you know, and that's the different thing as well, right? Like, we all have deadlines, but does the deadline really have to fit into like a 9 to 5 schedule? Like, can't the deadline, like, you know, we need the shit ready by like Friday at 12 p.m. It's like, oh great, so that means that, like, you know, on Monday I can work from like, you know, 10 to 12, and then from like, you know, 4 p.m. to like 8 p.m. or some shit. Does it really mean that, like, you know, to get something done by Friday at 12 p.m. you need to work like 8 hours nonstop. Like obviously, like nonstop is kind of a joke because it's like the big old thing, right? Like I don't really start work until like 1 p.m. because like from I work from like 9 to 9:50, and then oh, guess what? 9:50 is time for like a bathroom break, and I probably like gotta take a shit or something. So like shitting on company time, which by the way I'm very for. And then like you know, after that 9 or and then like, you know, at 10:03 you go back to work and you work for another like 30 minutes or so, and then like, oh, look at that, it's time for the morning coffee or something, or the usual water cooler stuff. Like I understand that, like, you know, work is also like a place of some social, it's school for grown-ups, right? Like you're being like, school prepares you for the work life, which seems a little fucked up in, if you ask me, but I understand the need for it in some ways, because then it just preps people to be used to that lifestyle from like an early age, which, you know, part of indoctrination and part of why everybody takes a storm when nobody wants to fight against it. But hey, who am I to say, you know, who am I to challenge the status quo or whatever? But you know, if your deadline for something is 12 p.m. on a Friday, then why can't you just work like, you know, 32 hours during the rest of the other 4 days, like however you fucking want? Like you could just pull an all-nighter one day and work like 12 hours. So long as you get that shit done by Friday 12, who gives a shit? And again, I understand that there's like more moving parts, okay? Like not, it's just not one person's job. It's like, you know, a whole cog in the machine. Like 20 people are working towards the same 12 p.m. Friday, and people need, like, just because it works for you to like do, you know, a 32-hour fucking day on, like, you know, you don't do shit from Monday to Wednesday, and then you suddenly, like, Wednesday at 8 p.m. you're like, oh shit, I gotta do 32 hours of work before Friday 12 p.m. You're like, okay, well, fuck me, I guess I'll just do 32 hours like straight or something. And the people who rely on your piece of work, like, I understand it's complicated. I'm not saying it's an easy solution, but I'm saying that there is something there, man. Will lead us to kings, man. Will lead us to kings. And again, I get it's a very generational thing. It's a very my position type of deal. Okay, I'm not trying to redefine the world according to my rules, but I'm saying that there's more opportunities out there than people think. But I also definitely come from a position of like autistic privilege, I guess, in many fucked up ways. Where if I have a problem with something, I don't have to fear about talking about it because I don't care about being ostracized or whatever. But you know, not a lot of people have that opportunity, I guess, to not care what people actually think. You know, because you kind of ruled, many people are ruled by their social environment, and again, maybe that's something that's maybe introduced a little too much whenever you're too young or something, and it's run core all the way down, man. The apple tree fucks up the whole of the roots of the apples from fucking conception to birth, okay? I understand it's a lot of this stuff. Look, okay, we'll oh, say, can you see? Oh, man. I want more, disillusioned people in charge, man. You guys see the shit that that Jim Carrey has been saying these days? And look, don't quote me on that, because I don't know. I don't. Whenever I say shit these days, I always mean like within the last like 5 years or so. Okay, like he gave a speech in like a Emmy thing or something like that of like you know, I'm not just like, you know, a guy. I am 2-time nominated, like, or 2-time winner. Jim Carrey, and you know, like Emmy winner Jim Carrey or something, and every day I wake up with the possibility of, you know, one day being called 3-time winner Jim Carrey. Like I like that type of discourse. The point of like, you know, like none of this shit means anything, and like we're all self-aggrandizing ourselves, and maybe create an environment where more harm is done than good, and maybe losing a little bit of the essence of what made us like act in the first place. and you know, some of the sauce is gone with as the more we like leave the pan on the oven without like adding new, like, you know, ingredients in. And Jose, can you see? Ah! Oh. I feel a storm coming. Is this the last one? It's the last one. We're finishing up here, I think. This might be the last one, and we're putting a stopper or an end to things very soon. Whoa. Sorry, do you ever have a dream when you think you're dreaming? Sometimes even while I'm talking, like a memory will play out in my head. And it will like, you probably noticed that I maybe wasn't making a lot of sense for like 2 seconds there or something, or maybe like the whole stream or whatever. But I was, going a little insane mode. Like a memory will play out in my head of like maybe something funny or like something that I was, I don't know, maybe proud of or whatever. Like it makes me feel some sort of, usually or hopefully at least a positive emotion, and then I'll just start like laughing to myself for no reason. Do you ever have a dream when you were dreaming? Exactly. And I'll play and I'll just start like randomly laughing, and then I'll look around me and I'm like, oh, I'm just like, I look like a lunatic right now. Oh, a pizza so yummy, so good. Oh man, I think the second we get one of the achievements, that's, I don't know. I want to make promises, but I'm not a politician, so I actually kind of want to keep them. But I don't know if I can bring myself to do it, man. Okay. Yeah, I think this is a good resting place. I think we've done a chunk. I'm hoping that by next Monday we I know I'm ending the stream perhaps a little earlier today. But I feel it. I feel it in my bones. I think that's the right decision for a guy like me. I got some prepping to do today as well, and more social interactions to understand this. You got this, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. So yeah, I want to say thank you for joining Dr. Sink 97 and Doobie Doo or something. Hold on, I don't want to be like fully disrespectful. Hubby Dub. There you go. I wasn't too far. I appreciate you guys coming over, and everybody else on all the other platforms. Thank you so much for watching. All the algorithm / metrics stuff, you know, like if you like, subscribe, fucking, you know what I'm talking about. You get the rigmarole. I don't need to dive into it. Thank you so much, and I appreciate everybody. And yeah, I hope you have a good day, good weekend, and enjoy life. Be always changing, but also never moving. Bye.